Welcome back to another episode of Unspoken Heart, where truth meets testimony and where we're just no longer silent about the things that we've come through. I am your host, Corinne Deanna Lane. And oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited for my guest today. My Super K is here in the building. Well, I call her Super K, but her name is Krystal French, and I'm just so excited for her to be here. Thank you so much, Super K.
Thank you for having me.
You've traveled a long way.
I mean,
the other side of Georgia.
the other side.
To
Anything
be here.
for you. Anything.
And look, man, I'm just like, I first of all, I've known you, let's see, probably like, maybe since
when?
probably 2017,
17? Almost 10 years?
almost 10 years. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
weird. Almost
Probably
10
even before
years.
that. But
Right. And one thing that I truly love and honor about you is, like, you've always been so 10 toes down concerning me. Like for real, I feel like even just the moment that we met and the moment that we just kind of jumped into the trenches of just worship together, I feel like our lives like bonded in a lifelong way. You know what I mean? Which is,
Absolutely.
it's I say it's a rarity for that to happen, you know, with people, because of course in this we come across so many people, we worship with so many people, do life with people, but when you just kind of really lock in, you know, with a person in our relationship and just our bond. Like, I remember when I did my my first t-shirt line, right? And I remember sending y'all, because, you know, we're in a group chat, and I remember sending like, look guys, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I'm feeling. You were like, what's the Cash App? You like she like
Right then.
sent the Cash App like, I want my shirt. Like it was just that, I think from that moment, I feel like I was just like, yo, that's pretty fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, when somebody just believes in you
That's
and
right.
just believes whatever you're going to do. And they just love you just for who you are. And just all the things that I've come through and that I've walked through, and that, like, just my life. You know, when my sister passed, you were there. When I was sick, you were there. When, you know what I mean? Like, just, you've been consistent, you know what I mean, with me. And I just wanted to take this moment to tell you that, and to, like,
Corinne,
really,
what you trying to make?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
really? You
I'm
trying
just, for real, because that, like, of course, we call each other Super K. We always say it's singular, it's not plural.
Right.
Like, you know, when we're together, we are like one, like legit.
That's right.
That's such a rarity.
I know.
Anyway, so welcome to Unspoken Heart.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming and just being willing to tell your story and just the things you've come through. I know it's going to bless, you know what I mean, like, many people. So before we get into your story, can you please introduce yourself and tell the world who you are?
Sure. I am Krystal French, part of Super K. No, but, you know, I'm a worship leader, wife, mother, you know, traveled a little bit of time as a BGV, you know, background vocalist, did, you know, some studio stuff, work with some great artists. Yeah. But now, you know, just, you know, mother, a worshiper, a wife. That's mainly, you know, what I'm doing these days. And I'm loving it. You know, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. You know, I feel like I'm finally starting to understand my purpose. So it's a good place to be in, not like what I feel like I should be doing because other people are doing it, or because, you know, my peers are, you know, I feel like I'm being left behind. You know, it's not that anymore. And for a long time, it did kind of feel like I was just trying to keep up with what everybody else was doing. But I feel at peace.
Wow.
And content. So,
That's so good.
yeah, it feels good to be.
Yeah.
Feels good to be in a good place.
Yeah.
And as far as like what you said, I just want you to know, like, it was very easy to to support your endeavors. No, seriously, like, when I moved to Atlanta, I definitely had like a group of friends, but, you know, friends like at church or like that, and that did ministry with me. I didn't have that many, you know, like that were serving with me at the time when I moved over to where we were serving together.
Yeah.
And so when me and you met, it was like, okay, it was like an instant, like, we're going to be friends and we're going to be sisters.
Yeah.
And I have that connection with people, but like when I do, I cherish it. And I want to, like, you know, if they're doing something, then I want them to know that I support you and I believe in it. And I'm going to not only say it, I'm going to, you know, put action or put
on it.
You know, money behind it if that's what it needs you to get your, and like whatever you did, I was like, t-shirt, sure.
Oh, there. What's the cash app?
Right. Worship Duet,
what do you need me to
sure.
see? I'm showing up.
Krystal, you got a song? Right. You doing a song arrangement? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like when we met, I just felt like we would be, we were knit together. Yeah. So whatever that meant or whatever that looked like.
Yeah.
It's going to be super cake.
It's going to be super cake all day.
Yeah.
Whoo, girl. So, let's jump into your story.
Sure.
So, just start jumping where you want to begin.
So let's see. First, you know, I like to say how I'm feeling. So I am a little nervous.
Okay.
But I do believe like this is a story that I haven't told or shared with many people. Okay. And also people who know me, they know I would prefer to like just sing any day. Then put a lot of, you know, do a lot of talking. But I feel like this was just like a pivotal time for me where I was able to like really see God in a new way. So me and my husband, we have 3 beautiful kids. Yeah. And after we had Kason, who was our oldest, you know, I kind of noticed even then, like, you know, some postpartum anxiety, if you will. And it was started more so like, I don't want to hurt the baby. You know, how can I make sure that the baby is safe? I don't, you know, what if this happens? What if this happens? And then it kind of shifted more to like, what if something happens to me? Like, you know, like those feelings, I guess, of once you have a baby, like more feelings about like mortality and what happens if, you know, something happens. If I go here and I don't make it back, who's going to take, like those type of things. And I noticed that like it was starting to kind of, you know, I guess yoke me up a little bit where it was making it hard to like, I won't say move, but it was starting to like kind of factor into decision making more than it should, you know. But with Case, it was manageable, and you know, after a while, it kind of, you know, I won't say that it completely went away, but it was where, you know, I could recognize the thought or recognize something and like immediately be like, okay, that's kind of far fetched, and that's kind of like irrational, Krystal. Like, let's bring it back in and reel it in. And as he got older, you know, and as like, I guess, you know, hormonal things started to more regulate, it kind of, you know, subsided or whatever. But bring us to baby number 2, which is Cole. That time was a little different. And I know it was different for the world per se, because we got pregnant with him in 2019. And then in 2020, COVID hit. Yeah. And so when I started my 3rd trimester with him, that was around the time that like everything started to shut down. Yeah. So, you know, doctor's appointments, everything was just, by the end, it was just me and the doctor. You know, Keith couldn't even come. So we had him, we go home and things are kind of like, you know, moving like how they do when you first have a newborn baby. Everybody's tired. Except this time, it's a little different. You know, my parents came for a little while and then they went home. But after that, because of how things were in the world, we were pretty isolated. It was just me, Keith, and then our 2 boys. And I started to feel like, you know, the things that you want, which are like community and people around you, were starting to become things that I was afraid of. Like, you know, I wanted people. I knew that I needed help. But at the same time, because of the ways of the world, I was just afraid. Like, I don't want people around us. Right. What if this happens? What if we come in contact with someone? Those feelings of what if something happens to me? What if something happens to one of the babies started to intensive. It started to get so intense that like my body was starting to like react to those feelings. So, you know, I was feeling shortness of breath, couldn't really rest at night, chest pains, headaches, blood pressure fluctuating, like things that weren't normal to how I normally feel. And it was getting to the point where now I felt like those irrational thoughts that I once could like just be like, girl, now they were starting to like take more of the forefront in our like day-to-day lives, to the point where it started to feel like it was affecting the way that I was mothering my kids, affecting the way that I was being a wife to Keith. You know, he would be like, you good? Like, are you all right? And in my mind, like, I wanted to say, yes, I think that I am. But, you know, he could always tell that something was wrong. And, like, as a mom, the initial kind of, like, response was, oh, I'm just tired. And when you have newborn kids, most people will take that at face value and be like, that's what it is. But it was more than that. It was the anxiety and those irrational thoughts starting to become too real to where I was afraid to live, you know. I was afraid that anything that I wouldn't let my kids be kids, you know. Where it started out as just, now I'm afraid for me, now it's don't go down that slide. Don't play outside. Don't use those whatever. Like, I was starting to impart my fears onto my kids. And it was just a time that was really difficult. So yeah, it was a time that was becoming really where the lines of what was really happening, reality, was being wrapped up in all of these imaginations, things that could happen. Things that the what if we leave today and we have an accident, the what if we run into somebody and, you know, they just coughed and they have COVID and we walked through it and now we're sick, and now like the what ifs that were so, I guess irrational is really the only word that I have for it, that it made me like not want to leave the house, not want to have our family come over, not want to this was like, it started in 2020, but it went on for a little while, like past the time where, like, you know, you've passed that postpartum kind of phase. And so it was kind of met with, okay, Krystal, like, you know that these things are not what God has for you. You're like, you know that if you continue down this path, like, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So you kind of have a choice to make in how you want to deal with this. You need some help. You know, and I know, like, as a believer, it was really hard to reconcile that, because
talk about that,
because you know the word, you've grown up in church, like, you know the things to say. You know how you should be responding. But in those moments, like, when you think you're doing what you're supposed to do and it's not, like, manifesting when you think it should, what do you do? Like, God is still there. He hasn't left you. You know these things, but in that moment, like, you're already isolated from people. And now you feel even, like, isolated from God. Like, he's there, but you don't, you know in your mind that he's there, but you don't feel it. If that makes any sense. And so throughout those times, like, I had to start really, like, going back to square one. Like, what does it mean to cast down every imagination that, like, tries to exalt itself against the knowledge of God? And I had to say, okay, Krystal, what is your knowledge of God? Like, never mind what other people say. Like, where have you seen him show up in your life specifically that you know it was God? Like, what do you know about him? And I was like, well, you know, I know that he is a healer because I've experienced it. You know, I know that he has healed my heart from like things in the past because, you know, I'm able to love. I'm able to, you know, give love and receive love. So I know that this God who has been there for me is not the God who is authoring these things that are making me feel like I'm losing it. Yeah. The things that are keeping me up at night, like I can't sleep, I can't breathe, you know, my chest is racing. I'm like, am I having a heart attack? Like those type of things and feelings that my body is manifesting these things that, you know, based on thoughts that I should be pulling down.
Right.
So I had to go back, like, what does it mean to do that? Like, as soon as you hear it, or for me, it was like, as soon as I hear something that didn't line up, I would start worshiping, I would start singing, I would start saying the word, I would start remembering those things that, like, those times that God has made a way for me in the past. Yeah. And then, like, I began to, like, see light. You know, it began to, like, okay, all right, so we got through it today. Yeah. One day. The next day, if it came up again, like how do I navigate this today? Okay, well, you know, I know that the Lord wants to do good for me because that's his nature, you know. I think on that. I sing on that, you know. I worship to that. And then we make it another day. Yeah. We make it another day. Yeah. You know, until like the days are being strung together. Yeah. And then I'm like, Lord, like I see myself coming out of this now. Yeah. Like now where maybe it was hard to leave the house, you know, now we're going out for walks. Now we're, you know, we're playing, we're laughing, like those. And I thank God for that, you know, every victory, everything that, you know, that may seem small, that may, you know, giving someone a hug because at one point physical touch it became really difficult. Like even though I craved it, I was afraid of it because in my mind it was like, you know, what happens if you know, it was the fill in the blank, especially during like the COVID time. It was like, I want to be with people, I can't be with people, you know. And even during that time of just like continuing to lead worship in an empty room, like sometimes just leaving the house, just getting to church, you know, just getting out the door, feeling the heaviness on my chest, trying to just load up to go. But knowing that I'm supposed to be like, knowing that I need the worship more than anybody. So like just getting there and pressing through and then watching God be there every single time. Like watching those songs minister to like, not the people who were hearing them, but just to me, like, that it's your breath in my lungs. Literally, because sometimes I feel like I can't breathe. Yeah. So I'm going to give it back because that's all I have to do right now is give it back to you. Yeah. Like the all of my help cometh from the Lord. Because what am I going to do? Yeah. I have these kids, I have this family, and right now I feel like I'm losing my mind, you know? So just like watching him even just get me from point A to point B, like knowing that in my mind, I feel afraid, but I can still hear the Lord saying, you know, I got you, I'm with you. Yeah. Push past the fear that you feel at this moment. Push past what you hear right now. Those thoughts that you know aren't from me, push past that. And every time I did, he met me. Yeah. Every single time. So like, I feel like that just helped to strengthen and build like the testimony that I have of who God's like, his love is like toward me, like who he is for me and the things that I've seen him like come through for me in the area of being a mom, being a wife, being a worship leader. Like whenever I say stuff like, you know, he regulated my mind, I be meaning that, John, for real. Yeah. Because like, there were times where I think it's harder when you know and you still like are allowing yourself to be like tripped up by things that you know aren't real. Like that, because then you're hard on yourself, like, why am I even upset about this?
I think even to relate, you know, just to your story, I think that was probably the biggest thing that was the toughest, being a worship leader, or being like, it was that part of your mind where you're like, so do I believe?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't believe.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, yeah, but I'm on this stage and I'm in front of these people.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them like, the devil is a liar. You know what I mean? I'm all these things. And it's like, you know, everything to say, you know, for them. But it's like when it was happening to you at the same time, you're like, okay, wait, so maybe I don't believe. You know what I mean? And then that's a thing. Which causes like the guilt, you know, and the shame of just like, well, dang, what am I doing? Am I like is this real?
Is this for real?
Is this like for real? Do I really believe this? What I'm doing? Like, am I supposed to be doing this? I can't even defeat the enemy in my own mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that, I think that was a part that I wrestle with so much of just like, yo, am I the liar? You know what I mean?
Am I the fake?
Am I fake? Yeah. That's tough. That's hard.
Very.
That's hard, you know?
It's definitely hard to reconcile what you know, what you say, what you know to be true, and then what you believe, and even how all that aligns with like what you feel at the moment, like what the things that are happening in your world at the moment, like how, because I can know and believe that doesn't mean that I don't also experience some doubt.
Right.
And I'm like, Lord, help me. I used to be like, help me in this area. Like, I know that you are this. I know that you are a healer. I know that you have the ability to do these things. In the areas where I'm struggling to see it in my own life, help me.
That's good.
Please help me, because like I can believe that you did it for whoever else.
Yeah.
You know, I see their testimony, so I know that you are well able to do it.
Yeah.
Lord, help me in the areas that I'm struggling to see it for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he was faithful. You know, he did it every time. I don't feel like God ever was like on me like, you should know better. Like I never got that from God. And I'm grateful because, you know, he's God. He could be like, girl, you know better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in those times where like I was just in tears crying or, you know, doing breathing exercises, just trying to catch my breath.
Yeah.
You know, even in all that, he was still like right there. He was like, okay, once you get past this moment, you know, breathe it out.
Yeah.
And we're going to try it again.
Yeah.
You know, things like just go to the store. I don't want to leave my house, you know. You know, go and get in the car and go for a ride. Yeah. You know, show your kids, you know, how to walk through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, don't. And I think that was another thing that kind of motivated me, because I was like, these are babies. They're, you know, 2. Yeah. Like they don't know fear. They don't know what it's like to have that what if. Now, of course, as parents, it's our job to like give them boundaries, but not to instill fear. You know what I mean? And that's what I was like, I don't want the things that right now I'm dealing with to cause them to step back and to not be, you know, all that they can be because of the what ifs that mommy told them when they were a kid. Like, I'm not trying to plant those seeds. And so I was like, Lord, like, even then I was like, help me so that, you know, this isn't something that my kids have to deal with. Yeah. You know, help me so that I can be a wife to keep, you know, like so that I can like love the way that he desires to be loved, and that I can receive the love that he's trying to give to me. Because even in those moments, you know, I know he was doing the best that he could, you know, trying to be there for me, trying to be there for our kids. He supported me in all the ways that he could. Yeah. But like some of those things you just have to like, you got to deal with. You and the Lord got to, you got to work through that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you take me to the moment, like, because so many people, it's a lot, I feel like, that's coming out now concerning COVID. And during that time, especially with women who were having children at that time, like what were you feeling when you were in this hospital? Just you know what I'm saying? Like, in the doctor, like, what was that like?
It was very, I would say the emotions are mixed because you still have all of the excitement of like, you know, you're about to have a baby,
Right.
you know. But now those things that you could once share with other people, you don't have that anymore. It's the community aspect that's gone.
Yeah.
That makes it feel like, it makes it kind of lonely. Like, I'm thankful that Keith could be there when Cole was born. But like, you know, you have a baby, you want visitors. People come to see you. People come to, like, you know, welcome the baby. You don't have that. You just have, you know, your doctor and your spouse. Well, I was fortunate enough to have that. Some people couldn't even have a person in there, you know? So I feel like off jump, it kind of started with, once we left the hospital, I started to feel, you know, the anxiety then, because like, okay, now I'm going home. You know, my parents were there to help with Case, but like, even before they got there, it was okay, who are they around before they came? You know, like all of those, because at that time, nobody knew anything. So it was all of the unknowns of just like, of everything. Yeah. So you want your mom, you want your dad, you want your people to be around. But at the same time, it's like, but the more people are around, the more chances there are for, you know, something to happen, somebody to get whatever, it to be spread around. And in my case, like, I actually ended up getting COVID pretty early, like earlier than like pretty early on when it came to Georgia. I got it pretty soon. And Cole was still, I mean, he was still like, when I say early, I mean, like, I had only been going to doctor's appointments early. Like that type of early where like, how in the world was I the only, and I still ended up getting it.
Wow.
And it was me isolating. So, and it was isolation from people, and then also isolating in my own home. And it was, I'm nursing. So I'm seeing my child to nurse, and then I'm going back and I'm by myself. It was like, you know, talking to my kids on FaceTime in a room separate from them in the house. You know, it was like, and I felt like all of that was still like playing on how I was feeling. You know, it was like it was exaggerating things. I guess is the best way to say it. So coming after that, where, you know, I was asymptomatic. I didn't have like any issues. So I was grateful for that. But then it was like, even more so, I was like, if I could get it with only being around, we're definitely not. Like, it was like shutting down everything. You know what I mean? Like, so those were like,
especially when it started, probably at the time you had it, it was still like not a lot. It wasn't like the whole, once it started growing and growing, and it was like, oh crap.
It was like back then when I got it, it was where it was hard to get a test. You know, you get tested, you have to wait days. You know, they had to wrap it, but then like, your results could be delayed based on, because so many people were trying to like get tested. It was just I know it was difficult for the world, which also made me feel like how I'm feeling, I should keep it. You know, like, it's like the world is, people are dying, you know, like, and you're having issues in your mind. So in my mind, I'm like, you know, this doesn't compare with what people are dealing with. You should be able to deal with this. So it made me like not want to share it, not want to, you know, it made me feel bad that I was even like struggling with it, because people were struggling with so much, you know, so it was like the guilt of that, the shame of that, on top of trying to navigate like how I'm feeling in the moment, you know? I mean, I would always say like COVID was a robber. Like, and more than just, you know, like, I mean, it robbed people of life, which was the ultimate, but then also community and being able to like, you know, touch people and say, hey, are you doing okay? Like, what's going on with you? How are you feeling today? Like, I don't know. It was a really interesting and difficult time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even now, like when we got pregnant with Carter, Keith was like, you good? Like, it was a type of situation.
Like, how far apart are they?
They're 2 years apart.
2 years apart. Okay.
Yeah. So like when he was like, now,
right.
You good? Like we going I was like, no, I'm good now. You know, like I felt like therapy did help. You know, one thing that I realized was that, you know, the exhaustion played a large part in that. You know, like just not sleeping.
Yeah.
So just learning how to rest again really it did a wonder for, you know, my mental health, my mental space. It helped me to like see things clearly. Sometimes like I realize now looking back, some of it was just, girl, you were so exhausted you didn't even like so like learning how to rest, like learning how to allow my mind to rest, like whether that meant, you know, breathing exercises, you know, listening to music that, you know, was soothing, whether it was like actually just speaking to myself, like saying the word, saying things that, you know, affirming what I knew to be true, things that could help my mind settle down so that I could rest. Like that, you know, did wonders. And then, you know, worship, the word, you know, confessing it, opening the windows, sunlight, you know, like the things that like just practical things that, you know, I feel like, you know, when sometimes the enemy knows if I can get them to like feel even more isolated, to feel even more alone, to like try to lock themselves away, then they won't get to what I need them to be. Like if I can get them to just shut down. And so I praise God that like I never got to that, you know, like I was able to recognize like, no, this is where you are headed. We don't want to go there. You know, as tough as it was, I praise God for the other side. You know,
yeah. Super gay. Now, you know, that makes just in hearing that, of course, you know, that I can relate 100%. And just knowing that, and I feel like, you know, even in the time that you were with me and walking through, you know, the beginning stages of that, and even just kind of, you were there on the brink of when this thing kind of started affecting me, you know what I mean, as well. So I'm grateful just even in that. I hope that even in what you were able to see, even through me, that it was kind of like almost like a light bulb that was just like, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of thing, you know? Because it's like you never know, for one. Like, I think my biggest thing was like, okay, where did this come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, why did this just come up on me all of a sudden, you know, kind of thing. And you're trying to really ration your mind even through that aspect, especially when you're walking it out and you're starting to see a therapist and go to the doctor, you know, and all these things, and you're like stepping through it. It starts to make sense as you're getting, you know, towards the end of the thing. But in the beginning, it's like, where did you come from? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you recognize the enemy, for one, confronted him, like, nah, you don't get to do that. You know what I mean? Like, type of thing. Like, you stepped through it gently, which is not everybody's story. You know what I mean? Everybody don't step through it gently enough to where when you're going through it, you still hear the Father. You still, you know what I mean? Like, I think even when I tell my story concerning it, on the outside, from what my family and what my husband could attest to, that it looked very chaotic on the outside, but on the inside, it was very gentle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like with the Father, it was very gentle with him inward, internally. But on the outside, it looked like this ain't good. You know what I mean? like situation. So I'm just grateful in that. Like I'm grateful just to have the weapons of worship, to have the word and have and be hearing the word from, a solid man of God, you know what I mean, to be able to speak, to those things, and you feel like you're equipped. Because I think there's so many times where believers or people who believe in God, sometimes they're not as equipped, to really walk through it gently, to where it don't rock your world, you know what I mean, and you just like. I always say I have a newfound respect, like for mental health, like diseases and issues that people are dealing with, like schizophrenia and bipolar, like all those different things. Like I have a newfound respect, for it, because I'm just like, because it can go bad, like quick, to where you almost feel like I remember feeling like, always give like a example of like The Sunken Place, like on the movie Get Out, where he was kind of falling into a place I could feel my mind falling, which was weird, like it's a trip, like in your mind where you like, oh, this can't be good, like where you really feel like you're like, but you can't grab your mind in a tangible way, and I think that's the trip part. So I can only imagine people who aren't equipped, you know what I mean? And they don't recognize the enemy, and they don't know what to say and what word to put on it, and to speak it moment by moment. You know what I mean? Like not just like, oh, okay, we're good. No, it's like, and it's back.
And it's back.
And it's back. You know what I mean?
It. Keep saying it.
Yeah, like in your face. Yes. And it returned. You know what I mean? It's that I'm grateful for. Like so grateful. Man.
Absolutely.
Super K. If anybody wanted to like reach out to you, contact you about like even just this, even after they see this and like, man, I really want to know like, what was this like? What did you say? What did you, you know what I mean? Like, how can they do that?
You mean like socials?
Yeah. If they want to contact
me, you can,
if y'all want to contact me,
you can reach me on Instagram. Yeah. My Instagram handle is I am Krystal French. You can message me, and I would be, more than happy to share. Absolutely. Facebook, Krystal French. Pretty much my name.
Yes,
will allow you to find me.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was my first podcast experience.
Period.
So thank you for having me and allowing me an opportunity to speak and to like, not filter.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it is very easy to like, try to make it. How do I say it? How do I make it fit? How do I, to where people still see me and as whoever, just giving people an opportunity to just say their heart, say what they've been through in a safe space, We still love Jesus.
We just,
we need Jesus.
We still,
absolutely.
That's the thing.
We need him. Need him.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And as you guys know, she's a worshiper. And you guys are going to get to see our worship duet that will be in the description of this episode. So I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
In today's world, your brand isn't just what you do. It's how you're remembered. And the strongest brands don't just sell, they connect. That connection begins with the story you tell. At Train to Catch Planes, we specialize in premium video and audio podcast production that gives your voice clarity and presence. Our brand storytelling uses filmmaking techniques to capture emotion, depth, and the why behind what you do. And our social media content creation positions you as the leader in your industry, the voice people trust, follow, and remember. This isn't just production, it's legacy in motion. It's your vision, it's your voice, it's your time to take flight.
Train to Catch Planes is an amazing experience. It's not just the atmosphere, but the customer service, the way that the team leads and guides you. If you come in here not necessarily knowing where to start, how to do certain things, their guidance is unmatched.
The direction of Brian, his creativity, you don't even have to tell him what to do, okay? In the editing, all of it is youthful, it's trending.
Let me tell y'all right now, if you don't know about this spot, it is a premier spot in Metro Atlanta with all the needs, the necessities, the equipment, the cameras, the lights, the action. It's right here at Train to Catch Planes.
Hey guys, I'm Deanna Lane.
I'm Brian Christopher. What's up, family?
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to Unspoken Heart.
Unspoken Heart.
The mission behind this movement is really just giving people a platform to tell their stories, giving them a platform to share what they've come through, to share how God stepped into their situation and turned their lives around. I'm just excited to be able to provide a platform for that, especially for worshipers, especially for people that just have a story to tell and they want to be able to share that and share the love of God.
We're just going to keep growing this thing one episode at a time, one duet at a time, one story at a time, one testimony at a time. And hey, we're just going to watch where God take us. Take all of us.
The episodes will drop every Saturday morning, so be subscribed so that you can be notified when they drop.
Make sure you're commenting, guys, because when you comment, you help the algorithm push this out to more people. And the more people we reach, the more effective we are in getting the word of God out. Unspoken Heart, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Every single Saturday, new episode, new worship duet.
In the description of the video, you can click it so that you can watch me and the guest worship together.